Hi y'all, I'm Leah Love, and today I wanted to do a video on why I've been celibate for 5 days, and then why I broke my vow of celibacy, both my partner and I. So celibacy isn't something I normally recommend. As you may have seen from my website, especially if you're in a relationship, I recommend that people connect and people share energy and share what our bodies were made for, which is sexual intimacy. And so it's very unusual that I would try celibacy, but I heard of this book, Cupid's Poisoned Arrow, and it has some interesting ideas about celibacy, not just celibacy, but not having orgasms. And so the whole idea of the book is not to not have sex, but to not have orgasm ever again. And while I love orgasms and highly recommend them and talk about them quite often, I thought, what the heck, I'm going to try this idea. And the book's whole idea and plan in the back is to do 2 weeks of celibacy, and then from then on you can practice sexual acts and just not bring yourself to orgasm. So we thought we would try it and see, because as much as I want to say this is a horrible idea and this isn't going to work and this isn't a good idea, because orgasms are so important for connection and to feel good, and also for me and other tantric people, we often dedicate our orgasms and share energy outward. So all of those things, I want to say this book is a horrible idea, but I am open-minded and I wanted to give it a try and see what would happen, because the book has all these theories that orgasms actually make you feel worse in the long run, and they deplete your energy, and they make you feel bitter and angry and not as connected to your partner. And it goes into all this neuroscience about why that is, and how the primal mammalian part of our brain says to have orgasm and then be done with our partners, so that because we're animals, it's the idea that we were meant to connect with a lot of different bodies in order to ensure that our genetics are going to be sound with our future children. So the idea is you get tired of one person, and then you go to the next person, and you get all this different genetic material so that your kids will be able to survive in the long run, and you won't end up with one partner with damaged genes or whatever, if that makes any sense. So anyway, we decided to try this and see what would happen, and we made it 5 days. And just a quick note on that, the idea, so for me, I tend to have several orgasms a day. So I know everyone's different, but that's how it is for me. So so this was kind of a big deal to go 3 weeks. We were going to go 3 weeks like the book suggests and try it out and see how you feel at the end of 3 weeks, and then have an orgasm after that, and compare how you were feeling in those 3 weeks to how you then feel after you have this orgasm. So so anyway, we made it 5 days, and we were doing really well. And you're not just disconnected from your partner in those 5 days, you are doing bonding exercises, and it's actually a lot of tantric and Taoist ideas. You're touching each other's hearts, and you're eye gazing, and you're sharing intimacy. You're just not having sexual intercourse or anything, no oral sex, no hand jobs, etc. Staying away from genitals for now. So so we were connecting and sharing time and just keeping clothes on, and that was working out really well, actually. And for 5 days we felt pretty darn good, which surprised me, and it was nice. But after 5 days the election came, and I was not going to look at the results at all, but I noticed my partner actually looked on Facebook and noticed that Trump was winning, and so I said, maybe we should decide to do the celibacy stuff later, and right now focus on having orgasms and putting our energy and our intention out there, because that's what I love personally doing. Like I mentioned, orgasm is a great way. It's releasing all this energy, and you can choose to dedicate that energy when you're orgasming to different ideas. It's kind of like prayer. So you're putting your intention out there, and we decided to break our celibacy vow and put out the intention that whoever was meant to be and whoever will be the best choice of president should win. And that doesn't mean, you know, the candidate of my choice should win. That means whoever's meant to be in a really good way to make this planet better. And I think that nature or God or Spirit's intention is not always very clear with what happens, but there are hidden blessings in everything that happens, and you have to find that. So I was not set on one person winning. We put that intention out there, and we had beautiful orgasms, and obviously what happened. And so I think that this whole idea really helped me, and doing that in the moment of Trump's victory really helped me to be at peace with what happened, and also feel like this is what is meant to be, and this is the plan, the higher source's plan, and that maybe this is the best thing, and maybe this will stir things up enough to make a change and to have the world be a better place. And so people are upset on Facebook, people are crying, people are angry, and I've really been able to be grounded and centered and at peace, and therefore be there for people who need me. And I reached out and said, you know, if anyone needs to have tea or cry or cuddle, I'm here, because I feel so grounded and so good. So do I regret breaking my vow of celibacy? Not at all. I feel really at peace with it. We can go for celibacy now that the election is over and try again. I still think this book is such an interesting idea, and there is a lot of science backing it up according to this author, and I just see it as something that we should all try before dissing. It's really easy to be stuck in our patterns and not want to change things and just say, you know, orgasm works for me, I feel fine, or I feel great, or, you know, right after orgasm I feel relaxed. But I think the idea of this book is the long-term picture, and I'm noticing that people complain long-term about not feeling connected to their spouses and about feeling bitter and resentful and all these other things that the book addresses. So I think it's worth trying out. And what is it going to hurt? Like 3 weeks is not really a big deal in the long run. And I still think, you know, 5 days was really good for me, and my orgasm felt very strong and very intentional. And I think that that is better than just having orgasms watching porn or meaningless orgasms for just a little bit of release, and then you don't feel better long term. So that was my idea, and I do have a lot of issues with the book. I'm kind of in this place of like, are they sure that all orgasms are bad, or could it be perhaps, like I just said, you know, the orgasms where we're watching porn and where we're checking out, or we're disconnected, or we're using sex as a, you know, way to hide from our real feelings, or as a way to sort of comfort ourselves, and that doesn't necessarily need to be the thing that we use. We can end up using sex as just like we use alcohol or drugs or anything else to, you know, just cover up what we're feeling and not work on our stuff. So it's really important to be aware of everything you're doing and really put intention behind everything we try to do. So there's that. And my other thing with this is, as a tantric person, my path has always been, you know, men are supposed to learn to separate orgasm and ejaculation, because ejaculation is known to be a source of energy loss, because you're losing the seed, which has so much energy in it, and so your body is then depleted. So I totally understand that, but the idea of women not orgasming is new for me, new concept, because in my tantric practice, sorry about the cars going by, in my tantric practice, it's always been that women can have as many orgasms as possible, and orgasms aren't depleting for women like they are for men. And so it's just been a non-issue, and I've never heard that women should stop having orgasms before. So again, I feel curious about this and a little bit like, oh, I don't know that this is going to work, but I want to try it, and I want to see how it's going, and I will update you too, to let you know how it went for me. But I would encourage you to just check this book out, because it has really interesting ideas and a lot of, I usually don't write in books, but I highlighted a lot of different things in here, different accounts from men and women saying, talking about why it works for them and why they've had all these sexual revelations and how they've bonded more to their partners. And so anyway, it's interesting, and I encourage you to check it out. And please let me know if you do check it out and you have comments. I'd love to know how it's working for other people. But anyway, that's where I am right now, and I wanted to share all about that, all about what's going on with me, because usually I do not advocate celibacy, and usually I just freely have orgasms several times a day. So new concept. But I love you guys, and I'd love to hear from you. Hope everyone is doing well. Stay in the light and find peace, and hopefully find peace knowing that everything happens for a reason, and we are able to make changes only when we are grounded and centered, and really feeling that power within ourselves that's not an angry rage. And you can get angry, and I'm not saying don't have your feelings, but find your roots and stay grounded, because that's how you're going to help other people. So blessings and love.